Hello, and let's welcome Ramon Lamelas to our Fireside Chat. Welcome.
Hello, Kathy.
So good to have you here. I've been excited to talk to you. What you do is so fascinating to me because it's involving the end of life and making sure things are being taken care of. So tell us about what Velasco Law is all about.
So we're a boutique firm that specializes in estate planning and probate. And as you mentioned, that's planning and dealing with end of life.
It's really hard to think about that as an individual, right? So I have parents that are in their 80s, late 80s, and soon to be 90s, and I'm getting up there myself. And so when you start seeing your life come in front of you, you just start wondering how you're going to leave it a better place, I think. And coming to see someone like you would be the beginning of that, right?
It is, yeah.
Well, it sounds great. So tell us what probate is and why do we want to avoid it?
So when somebody dies, you need to be able to dispose of those assets. And so probate is a court process to figure out where everybody's things go when they pass. And the first thing that you need to do is appoint somebody to make those decisions and then distribute it out to the people that are intended to receive it. And so the problem is that it takes a long time. Under normal circumstances, it's a year to a year and a half.
Oh, no.
Now with COVID, all that's taking longer.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I forgot about that too, yeah.
It's very expensive. Also, the attorney's fees are through the roof and there's additional court costs. And it invites litigation. People are already in court, so they're more likely to fight.
I think of Kobe when I say probate, right? Because he's in probate, right? So what is an estate plan and who needs one?
So an estate plan is simply a way to finalize your affairs. And so in the typical plan that we do, it's one that's based around a revocable living trust. Some people need more exotic estate planning techniques. Some people need something more simple. It may just be an 18-year-old that needs some simple powers of attorney in case something happens to him or her. But the reason that we do the typical plan with a revocable living trust for most clients is in order to avoid probate. So if you have nothing in place or if you have just a will, you're going to end up in probate. But if you have a trust-based plan, then nobody ever needs to go to court. You're able to just pass things along a lot easier.
It's so clear to the general public. I mean, someone could read that document and just absolutely know, right?
So it does take a little work, but that's what us attorneys are here
Thank
for.
goodness.
We can guide people through
You
that
can
process.
speak the legal speak, which we individuals are like, what does that mean? What does that affect? How does it affect me? That sort of thing, right?
Right.
All that education you went to. You're helping us, right? So another question I was thinking about, and I just adore your firm and you and what you guys stand for. So how do you differ from other firms?
So I think there's really two things that sets us apart. I think one is the fact that we approach everything from a perspective of educating the client. The first 20 minutes or so of any estate planning appointment that I have, it's explaining each of the documents to the client, making sure that they know what everything is, how the things work together, and being able to make the decisions themselves. The other thing that I think sets us apart is our outreach to the Hispanic community.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, so the head of the firm, Paul Velasco, and I are both Spanish-speaking attorneys. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking clientele. And especially for that community, there's this aversion to talking about death. And so it really sets them at ease to be able to have those conversations in Spanish. And even though the documents are in English, they at least understand them and have somebody to walk them through that.
And what a sense of security they have, just totally understanding what you're saying, right?
Correct.
Versus, hearing maybe 2/3 of it, and missing a third. So,
Right.
so I do know your firm to be the Spanish-speaking firm, and everybody loves that about you guys because you just literally physically wrap your arms around these people and make them feel like they're going to be okay. And furthermore, their family is when they're gone. And that's a sad thing to think about, isn't it? But it's the reality. So tell us a little bit about why you do what you do. I mean, obviously you're passionate about it and you love doing what you do, but why?
So I think it's just, for me, the best way for me to be of service. It allows me to really take care of clients in a way that sets them and their families up to be taken care of long
Yeah.
term. So one of the things that estate planning does is it prevents a conservatorship. So if somebody were to become incapacitated, they already have people in place to handle those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And once they've passed on, they're able to take care of their family.
Oh, that's so nice. And to think that you could do that and not be here is just so reassuring to the person that's doing it, the plan. So that's wonderful. Well, you definitely want to see Ramon. You want to talk to him. You want to speak some Spanish with him. Maybe do a little salsa. I'm not sure. But certainly you want to get to know him, and he wants to know your family, so he can help you leave it a better place when you go. So thank you so much for listening, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Let's remember the Velasco Law Group. They are the place to be. Take care.